getting ready to shoot this 10-pound block of clay with a 22-250 at a distance of 200 yards. And as part of that process, I'm zeroing the rifle. I couldn't find the bullet hole from 200 yards with my spotting scope, so I drove up to see where I'm at. And apparently, we're zeroed. Hello everyone and welcome back. These are the 4 bullets that we'll be shooting today at a distance of 200 yards at some blocks of clay. On the far left, you're looking at a 204 Ruger 32 grain vmax. Then you're looking at another 204 Ruger with a 40 grain vmax on top of that one. Next, it's a 22-250 50 grain vmax. And on the far right, you're looking at another 22-250 with a 45 grain jacketed hollow point on top of that one. We'll start by taking a quick look at the numbers, and then we'll go right out into the field, and we'll do some shooting to see how those numbers might translate when we take them off the paper and start to apply them in the real world. If you like today's video, by all means, please remember to click the like button, do subscribe, turn on the notifications icon if you haven't already done so, and as always, we're looking forward to your comments. We thank you again. Here are the bullets that we'll be shooting out there today. We'll be shooting the 204 Ruger 32 grain vmax. The manufacturer says that that will have a velocity of 42.25 feet per second at the muzzle, and that might be true for other people's rifles. But when I chronograph them, I've got them coming in at about 39.53 feet per second, meaning that they're about 6.5% below the box claims. When we shoot the 204 Ruger 40 grain vmax, the manufacturer advertises 3,900 feet per second at the muzzle. I've got them coming in at about 36.89 feet per second, so about 5.5% below the box claim. When we shoot the 22-250 45 grain hollow point, the manufacturer says that they're doing about 4,000 feet per second at the muzzle. I have found that they are telling the truth and then some. I've got those things coming in at about 4,075 feet per second, so they're about 2% above the box claim. Then when we shoot the 22-250 50 grain vmax, the manufacturer says 3,800 feet per second at the muzzle. I'm finding close to that, 3,723 feet per second, so about 2% shy of what the manufacturer claim is. But most importantly, how will they be doing when they arrive at 200 yards? The bullet with the most amount of energy will be the 22-250. It's going to have 910 foot-pounds of energy at 200 yards. So should we just simply bet on that one and forget it? Or do we say that the 204 Ruger 40 grain vmax might be the winner because it's going to have the most amount of speed, 29 feet per second worth of speed when it arrives at 200? Or do we say that we're not going to bet on any of these vmax bullets? We're going to bet on the 22-250 45 grain jacketed hollow point. Even though it does not have the most amount of speed, it doesn't have the most amount of foot-pounds of energy, it does have a very different bullet construction. It's a jacketed hollow point. Everything else here is a vmax, so that might yield very different results. Or lastly, do we simply bet on the 204 Ruger 32 grain vmax? Even though it does not have the most amount of energy, it has the least amount of energy. There is something about that 32 grain vmax that always surprises me whenever I count it out. So it'll be interesting to see what happens out there today. We'll be shooting this block of clay at a distance of 200 yards with the 204 Ruger. The ammunition will be the Hornady Superformance 32 grain vmax. Walking up right now to the 10-pound block of clay that was hit at 200 yards with a 204 Ruger 32 grain vmax that Hornady Superformance seems to work. This is what it looks like on the side. Some of the bullet and here's the back of it, by the way. Some of the bullet fragments did make it through to the water jug. None of it made it through to the second water jug. We'll take a look in here and see if we can find any small bullet fragments. I might stand corrected. Maybe, it looks like no bullet fragments made it through there at all, but it was just the sheer force that caused this water jug to open up. It was just the sheer force of this thing hitting it. Most of the bullets are into fragments in here on the bottom. Here's a little flake of a bullet right here, still left, but that's pretty much all that's left to it right there. We'll be shooting at this block of clay from a distance of 200 yards with a 204 Ruger using the 40 grain vmax Hornady Superformance. Walking up right now to the target that was just hit at a distance of 200 yards with a 204 Ruger 40 grain vmax Hornady Superformance. Before we get to the target, it looks like we can probably see some spots of clay on the ground, and based upon that orange sticker there, it would appear that I connected at least somewhere close to dead center. It did not go through to the water jug though. Water jug is unharmed, not even dirty. It just seemed to really deposit all of its energy sideways, up and down. I mean, some of the clay certainly landed all around, as you might have seen. Some of the clay got pushed through the crate. So from there to there, that's probably about 15 or 16 inches wide on the cavity. Here's the back side. I'll move this out of the way. It just didn't quite get through there though. Let's see if we can pick this thing up, see what the underside might look like. You can see little fragments of bullet that split apart when it hit. On the underside, well, there may not be much underside to look at, guys. You can see how some of it got pushed through the crate for sure, but might not be much underside to look at other than that. If you look real close, there's some clay down there that just flew from the top crate down to the bottom. We'll be shooting at this 10-pound block of clay from a distance of 200 yards with a 22-250 using a 50 grain vmax Hornady Varmint Express. Walking up right now to the 10-pound block of clay that was just hit at a distance of 200 yards with a 22-250 using the 50 grain vmax bullet Hornady Varmint Express. It looks like the water jugs behind the clay are unharmed. Yeah, nice and full. It looks like all of the energy from that bullet was deposited into the clay. So from this side of it here over to this side here, maybe 15, 16, 17 inches, something like that. Let's see if I can give you a different angle on it. And here is the, looks like there might be some little pieces of bullet jacket that are still in there, small pieces of bullet fragment. It definitely pushed the clay through the crate pretty well. Maybe some blocks of clay down in there. Let's move this water jug. And on the back side, there you have it. We'll be shooting at this 10-pound block of clay from a distance of 200 yards with a .22-250 using a 45 grain jacketed hollow point from Winchester. Walking up right now to the 10-pound block of clay that was just hit at a distance of 200 yards with a .22-250 using a 45 grain jacketed hollow point by Winchester. It appears that it did not go through to the water jugs. Pretty much unharmed. It certainly flattened out the clay, there's no doubt about that. There is some small bullet fragment there. Let's take a look at the back side of it. It appears that the bullet really tried to get through there though. It looks like that is what's left of the 45 grain jacketed hollow point. See if we can look at it from this side. Yep, that's what's left of it. So it almost got through the clay. And as far as the underside goes, let's peel this up. You can see it really pushed it through the crate pretty solid there. Distance 200 yards, 25.4 power zoom, 45 grain jacketed hollow point by Winchester. .50 grain vmax, 200 yards.